What does statistical margin of error mean for exit polls? Imagine trying to guess the number of candies in a jar by only looking at a small handful. You might be close, but there's always some uncertainty. That's what the margin of error in exit polls is all about. When election day arrives, exit polls are taken by asking a small group of voters how they voted right after they leave the polling station. But since only a sample is surveyed, there's always a chance that the results don't perfectly match the entire voting population. The margin of error tells us how much the actual support for a candidate could differ from what the poll shows. For example, if an exit poll says a candidate has support from 48% of voters, with a margin of error of plus or minus 3 percentage points, it means the real support could be anywhere from 45% to 51%. This range accounts for the natural variation that happens because only a part of voters are surveyed. The bigger the sample size, the smaller this margin becomes, making the estimate more accurate. This margin of error helps us understand if the difference between candidates is meaningful or just a result of sampling chance. If one candidate is leading by less than the margin of error, the race is considered too close to call or a statistical tie. To see if a lead is significant, analysts also look at the margin of error for the difference between candidates, which is usually larger than the margin for individual candidates. Exit polls face some challenges that can affect their accuracy. They don't include voters who cast absentee or mail-in ballots, which can skew results if those voters have different preferences. Response rates and where the pollsters choose to survey voters can also introduce errors. Sometimes, exit polls have predicted the wrong winner because of these factors. Overall, the margin of error in exit polls is a helpful tool that shows how confident we can be in the results. It gives a range where the true support for each candidate likely falls. Knowing this helps the media, analysts, and the public interpret early vote estimates with a clearer perspective. It reminds us that exit polls are a snapshot, not a perfect picture, of the entire election.